Hi, I'm Dawn Neiman, and I'm going to go through tiger and camel syllable divisions with you today. And before I do that, I just want to make sure that before you go and teach your students about tigers and camels, that you are positive that they know the difference between vowels and consonants and what they are. Don't assume that. Make sure that they know that term syllables, and at the very least, they know open versus closed. If you refer to my YouTube channel, you will see that rabbit syllable division has already been uploaded. And so definitely make sure that they know rabbit syllable division because that one is pretty consistent in that it's two consonants between two vowels. You divide between those consonants. If they have all of that background knowledge, we're going to go into tigers versus camels. So let's take a look at first, do they know the difference between open and closed syllables? And can they, without hesitation, say she, hi, no, just like they know that this is cat and that as short, sob, that O is a short sound, and pet, right? Not eat, because this E is closed in. So they definitely need to know all of that. You're definitely going to want to make sure that they have this rabbit syllable division down before we move on to tigers and camels. So if a tiger and a camel are in a fight, who is probably going to win? Yeah, it's probably going to be the tiger. Tigers win 75% of the time. So keep that in mind. 75% of the time, tigers are going to win. 25% of the time, camels are going to win. So let's take a look at what that means. If we take a look at some words, and I've got this for you. And this is actually in your Google Drive folder if you've taken class with me. You see that there is one vowel here between these two consonants. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to split this word as an open syllable. And when you do, this vowel is going to scream his name just like a tiger is loud and he roars and he screams. And when I split this, when I cut the cheese in this example, I'm going to say credit, credit. Credit doesn't sound like a word that I know. Let me try it the other way. I'm going to split it after the consonant, and I'm going to close in this first syllable. And when I do, I get credit. Now I said 75% of the time tigers win, only 25% of the time do camels win. This one happened to be a camel. Okay, so let's try a different one. If we look at this word, I've got one consonant between my two vowels. If you need to label it, you can. You can go vowel, consonant, vowel if you'd like. If you want to highlight those or underline them, that works too. And when I split this, I'm going to try splitting it to make it an open syllable so that that vowel screams his name. Paper, paper. And yes, paper is a word I know because if I split it the other way and I split it here, it would say papper. And that is not a word I know. So because this vowel is screaming his name, it's an open syllable. This is a tiger. Yes. And so this is a tiger, right? With that open syllable. Now, sometimes these words can get more complicated. You can have a word like this, and this tends to throw students a bit because you have this vowel at the end here. It doesn't really matter. It's still one consonant between two vowels. When I go to split this word, it's a little peculiar. I try it like this, and I have my open syllable, me, new. Minu doesn't work. So I'm gonna try to close it in with a consonant. Can this vowel be by himself? He absolutely can. It's just a little strange for students sometimes, but vowels can be in syllables by themselves. Menu works. Now, on occasion, you will have some words that can go either way. So I can record this video, and it's a tiger, but some of you remember playing records, or your school record might be found in the office. So as a tiger, it is record. As a camel, it is record. Either way, it's a word. Some can go both ways. So I frequently will give students words on cards, and they have to read it as a tiger, read it as a camel, and then decide which column does it go in. Sometimes it goes right in the middle, like you saw with record and record. I try to scaffold for students. So I'll start on the first day by giving them the words already split if they need this scaffold in place. And so they will look at this and go fever, fever. Oh, fever. Okay, is a tiger. And then they go solid, solid. Oh, solid. Right. And so I try to make them really pure on the first day. If I have see that they are doing fine with that and they are being successful and they've got enough knowledge to go back and forth like that, then I make them try it on their own, and they have to go Robin, Rob in, right? And you see how this is a little messier because they have to try it one way and then try it the other. Ultimately, I will give them several words like this that can go both ways. Sometimes it's because of your dialect, and sometimes it's because of the word. So some of you say event, some of you say event. This could be Polish. Well, probably I would need a capital P, or Polish. But look at this one. It can be, you can present or you can open the present, right? Just like you can desert from the army or you can visit the desert. And then this one is probably dialectal. I always say this as a camel, as in prophet, but there are some dialects that say profit. So you can go both ways sometimes with those words. Just like previous concepts, you're still going to do this I do, we do, and then you do. So start off by modeling a few words and get them used to what you want them to do. Then try a few words together before they go and start doing it on their own. Remember, we're always going from the most simplistic to the most advanced. So use words, use phrases, and use sentences. And then whatever you do for reading, do for spelling. So if I say spell the word pretend, I'm going to go pretend, P-R-E tend, T-E-N-D. And if I make an error, it's easier for me to fix that if it's one syllable at a time. You can definitely have kids decide which way the word goes, and then decide, I say pecan, but if you live in the South, you probably say pecan, right? You can elect, right? Pretend. It depends on how you are using the word sometimes. But this is definitely more complicated because you have to go try it as an open syllable. And then if that doesn't work, you have to try it as a closed syllable. So there's not going to be any trace copy cover with this, just like there wasn't trace copy cover with rabbit. And just like rabbit and all the other concepts you can scaffold, well, look at all of the things you can do for tigers and camels. So look at how on day one you can keep it really pure, re-lish or rel-ish. If you haven't already taught ER by this point, you're going to want to, or maybe you just want to do one day of just tiger camels with ER so that you can do later and ever. I usually spend an entire day on tigers and camels with you because remember, whatever says you also says ooh. So if I look at that music word and I don't know what that word is, I have to go music, music. Oh, that happened to work. Okay, I try the next one. Reuler, reuler doesn't work. So whatever says you also says ooh. So now I'm going to go ruler. Oh, ruler. That's okay. That's it. But look at that last word. I'm going to have to try you, punish. It doesn't sound like a word I know. I'm going to try punish. Still doesn't sound like a word I know. Now I have to make it a pun-ish. So the U's are a lot more taxing for your students. If you have not already taught Y says E at the end of two syllable words, you're going to want to do that here because there are a lot of tiger camel words. And just like when you did that rabbit syllable division, those words ending in ick are all I see. Well, you see lots of them here. And then I would spend a day at least mixing together rabbits and tigers and camels and getting them to tell you why is it a rabbit or why can't it be a rabbit, right? It's going to be based on does it have one consonant between two vowels or does it have two consonants between two vowels? Just like with rabbit syllable divisions, you're going to spell one syllable at a time. You might start off by drawing a line down the middle of their paper for them to spell one syllable at a time. Or you can do three columns so that they spell the first, then the second syllable, and then they write the entire word together. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. And certainly feel free to go to my website or my email and reach out if you have questions.